So I think we'll start in 1 minute just to let the participants to join. So let's give it 1 minute and we'll begin. Okay, good. So hopefully everyone who wanted to join early joined already, and the rest will join later then. And hi, colleagues, clients, thank you so much for joining today. Just again, a reminder, everyone will be muted for now, and we will also record the webinar, and you can send all of your questions to the chat. We will make sure to get back to them after we finish the presentation. And my name is Evgenia Mikhalchik-Rablik. I am Global Director of Growth at Flex Databases. And we are very glad that our webinars are growing too. And today Deloitte is joining to lead the discussion with us. And if it's your first webinar with Flex Databases, we are a software company providing a secure, unified, and compliant system specifically built for life sciences. And among our systems, there are trial master file, document management system, CTMS for all of the clinical operations people out there, as well as project management and finance management in clinical trials, and of course, our safety database, pharmacovigilance. Also, I would say that lately, maybe for the past 2 years, there is a bigger and bigger growing demand for the quality and compliance system, and of course, our learning management system for SOPs and trainings, and the quality management system will be the topic of this webinar. So thank you so much for joining again. And I just wanted to, I'm not going to bore you with this for long. I'm pretty much done. And let me introduce our speakers today. So Anna Petrovskaya has been probably my favorite quality person for nearly a decade now. And she started first in a global CRO conducting various audits, site audits, systems audits, documentation audits. And then she transitioned to IT side of business, joined Flex Databases, and now she is a QA director at Flex Databases, as well as our QA speaker, as well as she went through the last year's digitalization and validation of 50+ companies in the US, Europe, and Asia. And of course, today with us is our guest star from Deloitte, Vera Valesova, Senior Manager in Deloitte, who oversees implementation of quality systems and global regulatory affairs in drug development, as well as participates in implementation of various digital systems in pharma and in medtech. So Vera, if you want to also add a couple words about Deloitte. I guess you're on mute. That's what happens all the time. Okay, so while Vera is unmuting, I think we will go on with Anna, and then Vera hopefully will figure out the unmuting. Anna, if you can take over for now, that'd be great.
Yeah. Hello, everyone, and yeah, thank you. Thank you, Evgenia, for a flattering introduction, as always. So I'm very pleased to speak at this webinar today, and it's great honor for me to present this system and discuss the quality management system processes with you. Please share your questions in the chat. We will get to them all after the slides. And again, the notice that the webinar will be recorded and the recording will be shared afterwards. So what do we have on menu today? We are going to discuss the quality management system and find the answers to the question whether the digitalizing is worth it or not. So on the menu today, we have the following: how to and why make the quality management system digital. And if we make it digital, will we able be to comply with all applicable regulations and standards? And compliance is our top priority. And we are going to save, or are we going to waste our resources while switching to digital technologies? So that is what we are going to discuss. And I believe, Vera, you are unmuted now, so please, yeah, go ahead.
I'm not sure if you can hear me. Can you hear me?
Sure.
Because it's automatically switching me off and on. So sorry for that. So just brief about me and our cooperation with the Flex database. So my name is Vera Valesova. I'm based in Prague at Deloitte office and Life Science and Healthcare team. And we recently came into the collaboration with Flex database, and especially in terms of customization and development of the QMS, quality management system, in the Flex database. So we recently joined our forces to this.
Yeah, Vera will show.
Continue, Anna.
Yeah, thank you, Vera. Vera will share her expertise in change control today, why it is important and how it is to be performed. But before we start answering the questions, we have a question to you. So please find the poll sign at the bottom right corner of the screen, and please find the first poll. Do you have your quality management system digitalized or not? And there are three options. Please choose just one, either yes or no or partially. So please choose the option you prefer and click the submit vote. So let's have a look at who are our audience today and what we are going to discuss. So take like a couple of minutes or seconds to choose. Let's ensure that we are all here, we are all engaged, and
not sleeping. Yeah.
And
or answering emails. That's what I usually do.
Exactly. Yeah. So we'll give just a little bit more time to respond and then see the results. So in fact, currently there are, like almost equal results. Kind of 39% have not digitalized the quality management system so far. 33% say yes, and 28% partially. So the most intriguing one. So we have digitalized something, but not everything. Okay, so thank you very much for your input, and let's proceed. So the longer you've been working in quality assurance, the more documents you have generated. And, we all been there and we all done that, and we all know the unwritten good clinical practice principle. What is not documented has never happened. And that is why we, the quality assurance people, collect vetting signatures from our colleagues all over the world, minding the date format and color of the pen to be used. And we track the documents distribution and regulate access to them. We maintain confidentiality and organize the safe place for document storage, making sure that nothing happens to the papers. And if it does, we need a reliable disaster recovery plan that will allow us to restore everything. And definitely the quality assurance teams have lots of processes to keep track of, including corrective preventive actions to be completed, audit reports to follow up, lots of deadlines not to be missed. And actually, it's all quite a challenge. And while I'm sure we all enjoy our quality assurance daily routine, I believe that everyone would like to have the quality assurance process simplified. So, and that is what we are offering. So the no more paper attitude. That would be the next slide. So where we are going to move to the Flex database's quality management system, which help us to get rid of papers and to streamline the quality assurance processes. So with digitalized quality management system, all our processes are in one place, like smooth and transparent. The system allows us to keep track of all the audits, including the planning, reporting, and follow-up. All company employees would have the possibility to easily report any incident that will be managed within the system. All the CAPAs are also here, and all the actions planned and proved and tracked in the system. And in fact, all GMP, GCP, and any other QA-related activities can be easily maintained within one system, interconnected and supporting each other. And my main priority for today will be to demonstrate that everything is organized quite easily. And once we have everything within one system, we are going to save our resources and use them efficiently. So let's start with the incident management process. Once we decide that all incidents are to be reported, we grant access to all our employees who will have the possibility to report each and every incident as soon as possible once it happens. By default, we believe that incident reporting tools should be accessible to everyone, although access rights can be configured according to your needs and procedures. And here we see that once an incident is detected by any employee in any company office, it can be reported in the system, and the system begins tracking all further actions, including the incident investigation, resolution, and so on and so forth. So we will document what happened and when and what we are going to do about it. And of course, at the very first stage, we may not have all the necessary information to fill all the necessary fields. So the fields are not mandatory. Our default incident that we are dealing today is the standard one. So let this one be of low urgency, like nothing critical is going to happen. We schedule the time to correct the problem and to implement the changes required. So we have the fields to attach the confirmation documents, which can be the photos, reports, screenshots, or whatever else. And you see that we have the prepared document, which is created within the system. And if any changes are required, we can manually introduce them by adding the necessary information. And once we have prepared the document, we are sending it for further processing. And again, it is all done within the system. So we are choosing the person who will review the initial incident report. And this might be the functional manager, the line manager, the responsible employee, like whoever, according to your workflow. The reviewer will receive the report immediately in the system and get the corresponding notification via email. So you see, there is no chance that anything is going to be missed. And the standard flow is as follows. After the review, the incident report is provided to quality assurance. As you know, QA is always involved into the incidents management. And for QA reviewers, there are different options of further actions. Either to ask for further clarifications from the report regarding the incident. Either, well, this one is my favorite, to decide that it is not an incident at all, and thus no further actions are required. Or to acknowledge it and to forward for further processing. So the report can be edited at each step, and there are no drafts. We still work with one and the same documents. Like there are no previous, older, or newer versions. Everything is stored within the system along with the attachments. And definitely everything that happens with the report is captured in the audit trail. And after the incident is sent for a quality assurance review, QA team is deciding either the CAPA is required or not. If yes, we will proceed to CAPA, and again, it will be done within the system. If there are some clarifications needed, so the incident reporter will be asked for them, or the previous reviewer, so we have the possibility to add any required details, confirmation documents, and so on at each step. And once the incident report have been reviewed and approved by the quality assurance, it is tracked in the system, added to the statistics, and available in the general report. The report may be used for any audits, inspections, quality review meetings, as this report will include all the incidents reported, the root causes, the corrective actions taken, and I believe that this one is quite a good alternative to all the trackers and spreadsheets that we use to maintain, manually. And again, once we decide that the incident requires a CAPA, all the necessary information from the incident report will be automatically transferred to the CAPA form. And so now let's switch to the CAPA flow. Let me show it to you from scratch. So imagine we have conducted an internal audit. And as a result of the audit, there were some findings that would require the CAPA form. So let's initiate the new CAPA form, and in our case, it would be the project-specific audit, internal one, and we are going to initiate a CAPA and track all the observations and their gradings in the form. And after that, let's see how we are going to send the CAPA to the implementer. So in fact, the flow is pretty much the same that was with the incident reporting. We are entering all the necessary information into the corresponding fields. And here I'd like maybe to add that definitely different regulated companies have different standard document forms, different approach to findings, gradings, for example, specific templates. All this can be easily configured in the system. So you are welcome to use the default templates or to configure and to use the templates you have in your quality management system. So, okay, we have the default observation grading here and the standard fields to complete. So let's proceed. We enter in all the necessary information. And once we complete the form, we will sign it electronically within the system and forward it to the CAPA implementer. And I'd say that this is one more advantage of keeping all the documents in one system. You are sure that the CAPA implementer will receive the notification and the information regarding the deadline required. And the system will keep reminding to all the participants of the process about the timelines, when the corrective and preventive actions are to be planned, when they are to be completed and followed up, and thus we can be sure that the CAPA will be finalized as it was planned. So the workflow is as follows. We plan the corrective and preventive actions, we approve them, we make sure they have been implemented and completed, and then we observe them, either they have been effective or not. So as the main purpose of the CAPA is not only to document that something went wrong, but also to make sure that it is not going to happen again. So this one is the standard CAPA template generated by the system, and we sign it electronically within the system. And there are, several modules. The first one just captures all the necessary information. The next one captures the information regarding the corrective and preventive actions planned and the timelines for the implementations. And we sign the CAPA form within the system using the validated flow. So we will set the observation period to see either the actions planned and implemented were efficient, and the system again will remind us that it is high time to see either the actions were effective, and we can be sure that the incident won't repeat, and we're going to never have this observation in future again. And once again, you see that everything is tracked automatically. All the reports are available in the system, and all the electronic signatures are valid and compliant with the applicable regulations. So that is about the CAPA management, and now let's the audit begin. So we have discussed incident reporting, we have discussed the CAPAs, and one more favorite quality assurance activity, the audits. In fact, they are the major part of any quality assurance life, and each of them is to be planned. We have to find the available dates, to contact the auditees, to agree the dates and agenda, to provide the audit plan for review. And it definitely takes lots of time, and especially in pharmaceutical companies and clinical trials where everyone is always out of office on a business trip, it's really a challenge to find time and place to review the document, print it out, sign it, scan, and so on and so forth. So with the digitalized process, we have everything in one system within the clear workflow. We have our calendar that tracks all activities planned and have the possibility to plan the proposed dates and send them to the auditee, so to say, to share the pleasant news regarding the audit plan. And after everything is planned and agreed upon, so we are drafting the audit plan, we are reviewing it and approving it within the system. And once the plan dates approach, the system will remind us that it is high time either to finalize the audit plan or to get prepared for an audit or to finalize the audit report and so on and so forth. So the system will support us with all our audits all the way through. So let's switch to the next slide. And in fact, different audits are available in the system, so we can track the vendor assessment audits, the site audits, the project audits, and so on and so forth. So, and if there is the need to initiate a CAPA as a result of the audit, the necessary information will be transferred from the audit report to the new CAPA form and forwarded to the CAPA implementer for further processing, including the root cause, the corrective and preventive actions planning, and so on, as we have already seen with the CAPA flow. So, and since we have everything in one system, we can demonstrate the compliance with the data integrity regulations, which is also quite important, that all the system all the data is stored within the system, and we are in full compliance with the data integrity requirements. So all the audit participants will definitely get the relevant notifications, will have the possibility to generate the necessary documents within the system using the prepared templates. They will sign the audit plan, the audit report within the system using the compliant electronic signature. And again, which is important, all the documents are stored in the system with the restricted access, with the controlled users' rights, subject to backup process, and always ready for any reporting. And audit trail captures everything that goes on. There are no more spreadsheets, no more manual trackers anymore. So this is the configurable system that allows you to adapt the workflows to your quality management system, to your SOPs, and to your templates. Now let's proceed to quality management system documents. As it is, again, all the actions are performed within the system. The documents are drafted, reviewed, approved, signed, and issued within the system. All the comments are integrated. You can work with the same copy simultaneously, and there is the connection with the learning management system that allows you to create and assign the training based on the newly issued SOP version and to track the training process as well. So the document is published and made available to the employees so that we are sure that everyone receives the notification regarding the training assigned, takes the quiz and signs the electronic training record. And, more than that, we are sure that everyone has the access only to the currently effective versions of the SOPs, templates, and other quality management system. And we are keeping the history of all the changes within the system. And once we start talking about the changes, let's see who is still with us and has been listening to everything that goes on. Let's have one more short survey. Please choose an option in the polls menu. There is one more poll before we switch to Vera. So do you have change control implemented in your company? So there are the next options. No, yes for documents, yes for production, yes for some different processes. So please choose the applicable answer, and let's see who has implemented change control for now? Well, in fact, almost half of our colleagues have, like 46%. Yes for documents, 35% so far. Yes for production, 12%. And completely no change control process, 8%. So Vera, I believe you have to share with us how it all works, how it must be organized. Thank you for your vote.
Thank you, Anna. That's great to hear that majority of you know what is change control management and why it's important. So just briefly, I will stay and explain what is the change control and why it's important again for the rest of the people. And then I will show you how it works in the Flex database and how it could be also updated or customized based on your business needs. So the change control management is a process how to manage in the control way any changes in the processes, could be systems, could be documents. Even if to have a change control management is mandatory, is a regulatory requirements for the GMP, for the drug production, based on some documentation, some guidelines. It's not obligatory to have it in GCP. However, I would like to still show you that it's a big advantage to have this process set up for the change control of the documents, not just the SOP, but also for protocols or other important documents, or even you can use the change control management for the changes in the clinical trial setup, in the management of the clinical trials. So not just for the production as the pharmaceutical company are obliged to use for the processes, for the equipment, for the validation method system. So also for other purpose, you can use it even if it's not mandatory, but it's still useful. The change control management has the different stages, and it's connected closely and tightly with the CAPA management, with the incidents recording, even with the inspections and audit. All these quality objects, let's say, all these topics are closely and tightly connected with the change control management and can trigger changes. The basic phases for the change control management is, of course, initiation. Somebody needs to initiate, and you will see that later. It could be any employee. Then the assessment of the change, even if it's important or it's not. There in the assessment are also involved SMEs from the company, the people who know these methods, who knows the management of the clinical trial, who are involved in the protocol development. And then it's a planning. So you need to plan some action items which needs to be done, who will be responsible for the implementation. So this plans needs to be, of course, approved, assessed and approved. It could be by business unit leads, and also the latest approval should come from the QA, from the quality assurance department. Within this assessment and planning, you can also, for some cases, use effectiveness check. So you can check if the change in the process or the test is still needs to be tested after it's effective. So you can plan also the effectiveness check. And then is the phase of the implementation, that the responsible people will do the implementation, will change the document, will change the method, etc. And then there's a closure, where is the assessment if the implementation were done sufficiently, and usually QA close this change control. So what is nice in the Flex database, that if you use it like if you use it as basically in the quality management system, you can connect your CAPA findings, you can connect corrective preventive actions or the incident management, audit findings, inspection finding directly with the change control, because it's in the one system. On this previous slide, there were just mentioned all these steps again, so you can read it. And now you can see how it basically works in the system. So any employee could initiate the change request. So you fulfill the change request form. You can edit if it's project related or non-project related. If there is an impact assessment, you can also use different fields here. So you can have it here if it has a minor or major impact on your process. You will also fulfill the action items here and the responsible people. But it's still the request. So this request, when you fulfill all this information, if the product is related, we can edit here also if the effectiveness check is needed, if the equipment is impacted. So all these fields can be customized based on your business needs in the Flex database. And if you fulfill all this information, you will send it for review. You will sign it and then send it for review. The review of this plan and the impact assessment is done by SME, so you can upfront define who will be your SMEs, or if you have some board to assess the changes, it can also be customized here, so you can directly have the affected department, for example, and then edit responsible people. You can the reviewer will also change. Of course, the impact assessment can change the actions, modify it. Send it for review. Yeah, and during the review, the board, all the people assigned can modify all these actions, which needs to be taken, can modify the impact assessment. And send it, they'll sign it, and send it for the QA review. Also, if any changes needs to be done, or the change control needs to be cancelled, it also could be done. So you can cancel the change management if you, or reviewer figure out that it's not needed. Usually QA makes these actions that maybe it's not so needed, so it could, the whole workflow could be cancelled. And when the QA approved and signed this plan for the change control, also during the review, and could be edit affected documents, describe the changes. So now it's a part of the implementation. So the assigned the report that everything is reviewed and signed and approved from different stakeholders. And now it's the implementation phase. And during the implementation, the assigned designee will implement and will do all these actions they agreed within the plan. And then at the end, the QA approval will verify it and will approve it, that's done. You can, as I said, you can connect this change control, this process with the SCAPA, with the incident, with the audit, with the inspection within one system. So it's quite useful, and you have it documented for any inspection or audits. And that's it, how it works in the Flex databases.
Well, thank you, Vera. Thank you very much. That was really very informative, and I believe that we'll get lots of questions regarding the change control, as it is quite a hot topic nowadays. If you have any questions to Vera, please use the chat and the questions tab again at the bottom right corner of your screen to address your questions to Vera regarding the change control. And now to the reports. As you know, it's definitely quite nice and comfortable and important to have all the data in the system, but the most important is to work with the data, to use it, to analyze it, and to base your decision making on the data that you've collected. So the reports in the system are configurable. They allow us to get any information required. For example, here we have the good example of the report on observations and grading. All the CAPAs, all the incidents and audit reports are the source for this one. So once we need to have a look into the quality trend, or we need to provide any information to the company management, auditors or inspectors, the report is generated containing all the necessary statistics. So here we see the root cause, we see the area of the observation, and we can plan our future quality strategy accordingly. And yes, it's easy. So let's continue to the next slide. So if there are any hesitations regarding the system compliance, here we go with the regulations. So let me assure you that Flex database system is compliant with FDA 21 CFR Part 11, as well as with the relatively new guideline by EMA on computerized systems. And we also have our own quality management system established that have been approved by numerous audits, and we've supported our clients during the audits. Well, it's quite easy, and the next slide would demonstrate, the table of contents of the EMA guideline. It is like for purpose here, so to demonstrate that we are in line with each and every requirement of all the regulations. So we know the regulations. We are happy to support our clients to help them to be in line with the regulations as well. So we provide all the necessary specifications, testing evidence. We organize the training to the end users. We provide and update the user manuals. So all efforts are provided to help our clients to be compliant and to validate the system. So we are always here to provide any assistance with some technical questions, if any. We support our clients during the audits and the inspections as well. And all the changes that are introduced to the system are in full control by the end user, the regulated company. So I hope that now you see that having your quality management system digital is quite easy and effective, and it's worth it. So thank you very much for your time, and I believe we are ready to switch to the questions if we have any. And in the chat, in fact, I see two of them. So the question is, I would like to make our company quality management system digitalized, but I'm concerned about the electronic signature. Does it comply with ISO requirements, and how to proceed in implementing it? Well, the electronic signature in Flex database system is definitely compliant, and the steps to make your electronic signature compliant are, well, quite simple. You have to ensure that in accordance with 21 FDA CFR Part 11, so the electronic signature is unique. It demands the unique login and password, and it's in human readable format. And once you change the document that have been signed, the signature is not valid anymore. So it can be tested during the user acceptance testing, for example, or there might be the special user acceptance testing scenario for checking the electronic signature, and that's it. So you have the validation documents, you have the testing evidence, and you are free to go. If there are any regulated documents, so the essential documents that are submitted to the, for example, to FDA, you have to also submit the letter. Nowadays, it can be easily done in the electronic format, so there is no need to send the paper document to them anymore. So you have to warn the agency regarding that, and that's it. You are free to go. If you have any other questions regarding that, I believe we could provide some further support. I believe there are some more questions in the chat.
Yeah, there was the first one was, is there an audit trail available for all the changes? Yeah. It was after Vera's part.
Yeah, I can say that yes, and you could see from that when you received the presentation, if you received, that there is the number. So you have the identification number of each change, the change request, and you have all these documents, everything you did, every review, it's in the system. So you have audit trail, and you have connected. You can even edit the documents. For example, if you have if the change is triggered by the incident, so you can edit, you can add this incident number to the change control, so you have it connected.
Absolutely. And besides that, there is also the audit trail in the system itself. So it is available for all of the components of the system. And it's also one of the requirements to a regulated system for the audit trail to be available for any action taken by any user. Yeah. I think we have, so the next one, also more specific to audit trail, is can you export audit trail for specific processes?
Well, for sure. Sorry, I was I was thinking that you are going to answer. Yes, for sure. The audit trail can be exported, and if you, for example, need to provide it for some review or whatever it is, there are different formats supported, so you can export the audit trail for sure and keep it for your records. So
and thus you can make it for a specific process.
For sure. Mm-hmm. I see the next question. Either the Flex databases is adopted as an EDC system to the studies, will the quality management system be deployed along with the EDC?
Yeah, so as you know, we have a spin-off with the EDC system that provides that. I believe that's one of the clients that have exactly this setup asking. And they can be definitely connected and integrated. So Flex is, I would say, well known for the connectivity and integration of both our systems and with the external systems. So if there are specific processes you want to track that are interconnected with the data and data sets available in EDC, it can be even an external EDC. There are the connectors for that as well, the API or SFTP connector, so it's not a problem.
Vera, I believe the next question is closer to your expertise. Like, what are the
both? It's for us both, I guess. What are the major action after audit phase? Depends if audit fails. Right? If you are doing audit, you have some findings. So I think it's related to findings and how critical are these findings. And based on this, you can connect it with the change control. You can also connect it with the Kappa, right? So it's both. It depends.
Well, it depends, and it depends on the nature of the finding. So there are different reasons to fail an audit. So I believe it is quite a general question. So there might be different actions. Well, and by the way, if you'd like to receive, the deeper idea of the system of how it all works, you can reach out to us and demand the demo, the personal demo that would be provided to you, scheduled, and you have the possibility to have a closer look, a deeper dive into the system to see how it all works. Yeah. Do we have any other questions? Not yet. Yeah, I think that we've covered them all.
Yep, I don't see anyone typing, so maybe like it's 3, 2, 1. Okay. Oh no, Ekaterina is typing, or maybe not. Okay, thank you so much for the webinar. Indeed, that's the last question that was there. Thank you, Vera, for joining today. It was very insightful, and the recording will be available for everyone, guys. So if you missed something, you'll be able to see it. And of course, yeah, do request a demo. We'll be happy to chat more. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Have a nice one.
Yeah, have a good one.
Have a nice day. Bye.